Hi, this is the Cat's Library. I'll be your librarian today. I decided to draw the favorite animal of one of my sisters today, which just so happens to be the eel. This ended up more complicated than I initially expected. Engage! This is an adult male ribbon eel. The females are nearly completely yellow and the juveniles are yellow and black, which is how I know this. I chose this particular species of eel to draw because I was in the mood to experiment with some bright colors after the last few weeks, and I also wanted to experiment with the flowing body shape in the reference. I have a mild problem making my drawings look too stiff. That was one of the reasons I tried to draw Alani from the Dragon Planet videos to look like an Egyptian hieroglyph or Greek pottery so that it would look intentional, but I'm not sure how well that came across rather than I'm just bad at making my characters look natural. So I try to go back to explaining facts about the animal after a while, and I immediately start talking about the drawing process before it's time. Tisk tisk. Though in my defense I only found one good eel story this time, so I need to pad out these other sections somehow. Anyway, one of the reasons that ribbon eels have such fluid poses is because they have up to 255 vertebrae and have exceptionally long dorsal fins, which is represented in the drawing by the yellow. They live in the Indian Ocean and about half of the Pacific Ocean. They prefer shallower water, which apparently means 1 to 75 meters according to Wikipedia. That is roughly 3 to 187 feet. That is about all the eel facts that I want to talk about, so let's move on to talking about the drawing itself. Properly this time. So I thought drawing this would be really simple because the dolphin was pretty easy and the eel image that I used didn't have a complicated splash effect. Oh, how wrong I was. I still don't know why I was wrong, but I was, and I had to keep redrawing this little dude over and over and over again. I thought that I was done, so I drew the background, but I still wasn't satisfied with it. Getting good color values while maintaining the correct hue was the bane of my existence this week. I would record 10-minute chunks before getting insecure and stopping, which is going to make the editing process a nightmare. I also flattened the image down to one layer and then decided I wasn't happy with it, which made changing the pose later on more difficult than it would have otherwise, even though I went absolutely crazy with the layers this time. With the dolphin, I kept merging the layers for space, but then when I changed something too much, I couldn't go back. This time I couldn't change anything in the first place because by the time I thought of something to change, I'd already shaded on multiple layers that I needed to sift through. Also, a lot of my work was on the background halfway through the process, so I couldn't erase anything without making a hole or awkwardly trying to extend the background to the area I wanted to cover. I might have just had one of those weeks where I just suddenly forgot how to draw correctly, since I tried to go over to the video recording for the other video I'm working on with a more cartoony style, and I'm not satisfied with that either. Or drawing is just hard in general and I don't always notice. Or, yet again, both of the styles that I'm drawing are not quite in my comfort zone, and so since I am uncomfortable, it feels like the drawing process is harder even though it probably is not. I don't remember what my style actually looks like, so I'm not entirely sure what to go back to feel like myself again. To be fair, I did this to myself. Both of these are challenges that require that I try something a little bit different. Not to give you too much of a spoiler for the next video that I'm working on, though if you're watching this in the future, you may already know. And now, onto the story section. Sina and the Eel is a Polynesian story which explains the origin of the coconut. In the original Samoan language, the word for eel is tuna, which is sort of confusing. I couldn't find out what the Samoan word for tuna is. I found two versions of the story and will attempt to tell both of them at the same time as a personal challenge to myself. This story is a little bit sad. Sina and the Eel. Once there was a beautiful girl named Sina, which I'm going to assume that I'm pronouncing correctly. Now, one version of the story, the king heard of her beauty and disguised himself as an eel to spy on her, since he was much older than her and didn't think that he had a chance. In another version, she had a pet eel who fell in love with her. In the one where the eel is a king, she sees him in a pool and screams, "Ah, demon, kill it!" or something along those lines. But then she gets over it and makes the eel her pet. In the one where the eel was her pet originally, she tries to run away, but the eel follows her and she sees him in a pool and screams, "Ah, demon, kill it!" or something along those lines. However, in that version, people are all around and actually listen to her and kill the eel for her. His dying wish is to have his head buried, which Cena agrees to. In the other version, the king eel grows old, and in his old age he reverts back to his human form one last time. His dying wish was to have his head buried, which Cena agrees to. In both stories, the place where the eel's head is buried grows the first coconut tree. The coconut has 3 round grooves, which look like the eyes and mouth of an eel. It is said that when Cena drinks of the coconut by poking a hole through one of these grooves, she is kissing the eel. And that's just about the end of the video. I have a part of another video in the works, like I said earlier, so it might be out soon. Like, subscribe, comment, watch more videos on this channel, and tell your friends. Bye!